All right, so we got all the pieces printed, including the top of it, and including the chopsticks and the quick disconnect arm. That's all assembled. Everything's assembled. We just have to finish off putting it together. So from the beginning, I glued the first 3 sections together, which is up to here. Those are glued together. And then I wanted to wait until I did all the chopsticks to decide what else I was going to glue together, because I'm going to be transporting this to events for public outreach, and I didn't want to have to worry about putting it together piece by piece every single time. Also remember, the bottom section is connected to the base using magnets, so that's locked in there pretty well. All right, so now we need to figure out how these are going to go on the tower and where we can glue things and still be able to get them on and off if we need to. So that's the next step. All right, so what I can tell is the quick disconnect arm goes along this column, and the chopsticks go along this column and the one on the opposite side. So just slide them in from the top to go on there. Or maybe I'll just do that while I'm standing here. This has to slide on here, and it also slides in the grooves on this column. So there's a little groove in here. Little groove in here on either side of these jaws that connect to the little things that stick out, the little protrusions. There's also protrusions on these columns, so we have to engage those too. So this slides on here, and then slides up and down. Now there's a lot of friction here, so I'm not even talking about on the joints. There's a lot of friction just because this is PLA printed. If I was doing it over again, I printed in PETG, it's smoother, but I'm not going to print this again, so I'm not sure. I mean, he shows the 1:96 scale version. You know, the chopsticks moving up smoothly when he actually I think it's this one. He shows the chopsticks moving up smoothly when he twists the draw pulley at the bottom. So I'm not disputing that it might go up smoothly, but there's not enough weight here to have it go back down smoothly. So it's not going to go down on its own. Let's just put it that way. That's what I'm trying to get across. Okay, so that's how this goes on. And you can see there's a lot of torque on this tower because these chopsticks are hanging way out here. Now, I've talked about this before. The newer chopsticks are going to be shorter just because they don't need chopsticks this big. But anyway, this is the version I've got. I'm not going to reprint those. So there's a lot of torque here. So however we attach this for the second section. So we're going to have one section glued at the bottom, and the top section will be glued, except for the very top, which we already did some stuff with magnets in here. So I'm going to keep using those magnets as soon as I figure out how I did that. Anyway, so top part's going to be glued. So the question is, where are we going to glue this? So we got this on. We also have to get the quick disconnect arm on, so that can also go in from the top, and that goes on this tower, but it only goes in this little section. Only this section has the protrusions, section 5 and part of section 4, and then on section 4 there's a stop. So my solution is to, when I'm assembling this in the field, is I'm going to put this on from the bottom on section 5 like this. So it'll slide up on section 5. And now the bottom is clear, and then it can attach to section 4. So this all needs to be together, glued together. So we're gonna do that next. But for right now, I've realized that we can glue section 4 to section 3 and have this be the very top of the bottom section. So when we transport this, we can take this out of here, maybe, because if I have the drawstring threaded. Drawstring's gonna be coming up through here, and so I don't know. I'll have to figure out. I'm gonna put the drawstring on, but I may end up removing the string afterwards because it could cause too many problems to transport. But anyway, the bottom line is we're gonna glue section 4 onto section 3 using these acrylic rod dowel pins. So, okay, that's our next step. All right, so I zoomed in a little bit. So one thing I did was when I was gluing the sections together, I actually wrote on them. So I guess I wrote section, it's upside down, but I wrote number 4, so I know this is section 4. And that same thing with section 5, 6, and 7. So because they're all similar. I mean, 4 and 5 are slightly different, but because they have this stop here and these little protrusions for the quick disconnect arm. Anyway, so we're going to glue these things in. So we're just going to put some glue down in the hole, and then I'm going to put the dowel pin in. We're just going to go around and do that on all sides here. I'm wearing my gloves. I don't want to get glue on my hands. I've talked about that before. All right, so now we're going to put some glue on top of these dowel pins. And then we're going to put section 4. We've got to make sure section 4 is put on the right orientation. So the side with the stop on it goes away from, goes on this left corner, away from the, where the tower is, where the rocket's going to be. So we're just going to hold that down. So see here, this is the back of the tower. It's away from the rocket, and then this side is toward the tower. So section 4 with this little stop for the quick disconnect arm, and these protrusions, the beginning of the protrusions over here, go on this side. So all right, so that's gluing. So now we can set that aside and let that dry. Now we're going to go back and glue sections 5, 6, and 7 together. Okay, so we'll take this off. We'll take this off without it all coming apart. Not breaking anything. Let's see, let me take off section 7. And I just have to pull it off this high. That'll be easier. There. So I probably put some grease on this. I've got this silicone grease that I use for various things. And I put some grease on this, on these columns to make this slide a little bit smoother. If I want to demonstrate how it slides up and down. Let's see. Once I get it all strung up, I'll see how easily it moves. Then I can decide what to do. So definitely gonna put grease on this though. That's a definite. All right, then quick disconnect arm can slide off the bottom of section 5. So all right, so we'll set that aside. So now we're going to glue sections 5 and 6 together. So there's quite a bit of gap here because as I showed earlier, I used a raft to print things and left a gap. So I did get my fill stick. Get this out. I'll put a link to this in the show notes. So this is just a it's for filling wood, but it'll also fill in these little gaps here. And the color's pretty close. It's a little bit lighter, slightly lighter than this, but so let's do the best we can with gluing, and we'll just fill in the gaps as best we can with this stuff. So all right, so here's how section 8 goes on the tower, and the protrusion, or the thing that sticks out on section 8, which is this thing that the lifting cord goes through, is pointed toward the rocket. Okay, so if you look over here again, the side with the numbers on it is away from the rocket, so this is going to be going toward the rocket this way. So I cut my dowel pins already, so we can go ahead and glue this because there's nothing going on. You know, the cord is just going to go through this structure. It's not going to be looping around through pulleys like it does on section 9A and B. So this one, if you remember from before, we put together with magnets so we can get in there and thread the rod through the pulleys, or thread the cord through the pulleys, and then snap it back together. So there. Okay, so we'll set that aside. And then we're going to just make sure we get this right orientation. That's what we've been talking about. That it's like the same thing with the magnets. If you don't put the magnets on the right way, you're in trouble. So same thing here. So, and so we'll glue these dowel pins into the bottom, in the top of section 7. That's one thing we talked about before, is making sure we can put these chopsticks on right. So normally coming from the top, if all these sections disconnected, So now we're gluing this on the top, and that looks like it's going to block the chopsticks ground, but we're going to put the chopsticks on from the bottom. So when we slide the chopsticks on, we'll do it from the bottom of section 5, and that can work just as well as putting them on from the top of section 8 and 9. So, okay, so we're okay to glue this is what I'm getting at. So here's our side away from the rocket. So we want this protrusion to go towards the rocket. It's got to go on this way. So now we're ready to put some glue on these posts. I test fitted it already, and everything fits on there. All right, so hold that, let it glue, let it dry, and then we'll come back and figure how we're going to attach this upper section, sections 5, 6, 7, and 8, to sections 1 through 4 when we assemble it in the field. So, all right, so how are we going to attach this? So we're going to use 2 posts and 2 magnets. So where should we put the magnets? So this is the side toward the rocket on this side. This is away from the rocket. So the torque's going to be this way. So I want a magnet on this side so that we counteract that torque with as much magnet power as we can put together. So in fact, I might want magnets on these 3 and just have a post on 1. But I don't want it sliding from side to side. So I need two posts and 2 magnets. So I think I'll put magnets on the side toward the rocket and away from the rocket, and also I'll put posts on these 2 sides. So let's take these posts out. We're not going to use those right now. We'll probably have to use them later. Then we're going to glue posts on these 2 sides. Remember, this is away from the rocket. This is toward the rocket. So we're doing the ones catty corner to that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put the magnets in first, and then we're going to put the glue on them. So I'm not sure how many magnets will fit in there. We'll just see. So we'll take some magnets out here, and we'll use our magnet. Let's see, it's going to be about half of this, so it's about 10 millimeters worth of magnets, so it's going to be about this much. You can always add one more if you need to. Alright, so that looks like, I think it was 6 magnets. Yeah. Alright, so we're going to put 6 magnets in here. Pull it off to the side. Alright, so that's just slightly down there. I think we could put one more magnet as long as we have one less magnet on the other side. So let's put one more magnet on there. And we don't have to be too careful about how we do, because it'll just stick to it. So there. Now it's a little bit proud from that top of that post, so that's good. So we want 7 magnets, it looks like. We'll try that on the next one. We'll get 7 magnets. Let's see. That's the wrong side. 7 magnets. Let's see if that's 7. That's not 7, yeah. Okay, so we'll try 7 magnets on this side. Alright, so that's sitting slightly proud too, so that's good. So as long as the post on the top magnets are slightly indented, it'll be fine. So, and now we're going to put glue on these magnets. So the magnets, the glue is not magnetic, so it can just soak in. And we'll just let that sit there for probably 5 minutes, and let's let it soak in. So now we can work on the other side. While we're waiting for that. Now this side, okay, we have to make sure we line this up correctly. So this is the side toward the rocket, so that's over here. It's going to go like this. So we want magnets on the side that has the numbers on it. That's the side away from the rocket, and this side. So these 2 sides have to have magnets, and they have to have enough room for. They have to be slightly lower than the surface. So let's see how deep these are. Just put a dowel rod in here. So I think we probably want 6 magnets. That should be just about right. So we'll get 6 magnets and put it in here. We can always pull them back out if they're sticking out or something, if they're too low. So we'll get 6 magnets. Now this time we got to use our opposite magnet, right? Of course we do. We're using our complementary magnet. And I have got 2, 6, 7 magnets on there. So I just take one off. Luckily, these small magnets, they're not too hard to take apart. This is going to go in here, and we're going to slide it off. And it should go slightly indented, which it did. So, all right. So now we need 6 more magnets. Again, we're using a complementary magnet to make sure they're oriented correctly. So that is 2, 3, 6 magnets. Okay, good. So you put it in, slide to the side. I didn't get my plastic pointer thingy, but that's okay. Get that down in case I need it. Okay, so this is looking good. So we'll go ahead and glue these and let those dry for 5 minutes. So that should work perfectly. I want to apologize for the sound because I have a 3D printing business, so the printing goes on. Okay, so actually this can go on 2 different ways. Just make sure you put it on the right way. And we'll see if I got the magnets correct. And I did, because they're not being repelled. So, and now we'll see how powerful that is compared to the chopsticks. So we'll slide on the chopsticks, which are in here. The pulley should go up. Pretty sure. I don't know why it wouldn't. So put the chopsticks on. Okay. Yeah, we're not going to move this up and down very much. Oh, I'm going to put on the quick disconnect arm. Quick disconnect arm goes on number 5, where the number is. That's the post away from the rocket. We'll put this on. We'll see how well the magnets hold it. So, pretty good. All right, so we're going to keep this chopsticks somewhere. Let's see. Probably up here to keep, so we'll keep the chopsticks up pretty high so they can stabilize the rocket. Now this is working well enough. I'm going to go ahead and put some grease on this, and then we'll see if it slides better. All right, so I put my gloves on because I don't want to get a bunch of grease on my fingers, particularly. So we're going to start where the quick disconnect arm comes off. So there's these little protrusions right here. Put some grease on those, and also on the outside of this post, because part of the quick disconnect rubs up against this post. So this side, we don't need too much on this side because it only goes up and down a tiny bit. So right now I'm going to put some on these posts on this side where the chopsticks are. So first we'll put some on the face here. That's where most of the friction is going to be probably. Well, I don't know. Probably a combination. And some on these protrusions. Okay, we'll come onto this side, do the same thing. All right, well that's going a little bit better. Let's see. Now, I think I'll just show it catching it up near the top here. I'll launch the rocket using, I'll launch the rocket off the launch pad with these chopsticks open, obviously, and the quick disconnect arm away, and then, excuse me, and then I'll just catch it up here and say, well, let's lower it down back onto the launch pad. I'm not going to move this up and down. I'm going to go ahead and thread the cord through just so, to show you how I did it, but I think I'm going to either disconnect it or just leave it so it's just up here at the top all the time. All right, so we got the top section and the bottom section all lined up where we want it. Now we got to figure out how to connect section 9 to section 8. So section 9, if you remember, is connected to the 9A and 9B. 9B is the top with the pulleys, and 9A is the base. So we need to connect 9A to 8. There's no reason to not connect it permanently. So, because we can take the top off, right? So we'll connect this permanently. So this keeps from tipping over. with these chopsticks on, it's very it's not stable, honestly. So we have these magnets here, so we have shorter connections on these sides. We have to make sure we cut those dowel rods the right height, but these two can be full height. So we'll put those on. I got two of these done already from before. Okay, so actually this one might be the right height for. Let's try these for this side and see if this will fit on there without any gaps. It's a little bit too tall, so. Okay, so we need to make one shorter than this, not too much shorter. All right, so I'll cut some dowel rods that are the right length. I'll let you know how long they are. Well, I mean, it's going to depend how you put your magnets in, so I'm just going to cut some that are shorter than this. This is the 20 millimeters, so I need about 16 or 17 millimeters, then a little bit will stick up. So I can use these for this front and back because those holes are open on this side. So. Although they do have the dowel rods coming from the top, but there should be enough room. We'll better double check that before we glue anything. Let's try that. So we'll put these on this way, then we'll put this on top with the dowel. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh no, well, that's the wrong end. It's this side, right? So we'll put this on. Alright, so this is on. We don't have any on these sides because that's where the magnets are. Then we'll put this top on and see if it goes all the way down without sticking out. Okay. Yeah, this isn't exactly square, so I think it's okay now. So we'll hold this down while we're gluing it, and then that looks okay. Yeah, these are, I mean, this part printed as one piece, so it should be basically square, but it could be a bit off. Okay. All right, so these dowel rods are the right length. These have to be. Otherwise, the other ones will be about the same length. So I'll cut a couple short ones like that, and then we'll see if we can finish that part off. All right, so I test fit everything. Everything seems to fit. So I don't want to mess up the location where these pins are. So I'm going to take one out and glue it each one in turn. Yeah. It's going to be a trial and error fit here, unfortunately. But with the acrylic rods, there's no problem changing the length of these things. Whereas if you're using the actual metal dowel pins, you'd be out of luck. So I think this is a superior system for putting this together because it allows you some flexibility to make things fit. So with a complex model like this, it's 3D printed. Everything's not going to fit perfectly. It's just the way it is. So. All right, so let that dry for a few minutes, and then we'll go ahead. We could try to glue the top on now, but we're just likely to pull some of those pins out by accident, so we're just going to wait. Be patient. All right, so this is dry now, so we're ready to do our final gluing, hopefully, of the tower. So this is section 9A, goes this way, and there's a slot here where the cord from the pulley is going to go through there. So we're going to put some, we only can put this on once, so we're going to put, there's really not much overlap. There's a little bit of overlap on this. I might put a little bit of glue on there, but mainly we're going to put on these posts. We're only going to put this on once, so I'll put a little bit of glue on here just to give us some extra connection. And I guess these surfaces are going to hit too, so all right. Get it on there pretty quickly so it doesn't mess up. There. This is a little bit out of whack, so we're going to hold it down so that all four corners attach securely to section 8. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Post a comment if you have any questions or ideas, and I'll try to respond. That's all for now, but more videos are coming, and if you want to see them, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification icon if you don't want to miss one. This is Beta Cygni signing out, and keep looking up.